Can you hear me? Okay, great. So closing your eyes and is make sure that your posture is adjusted, and then make sure that, to the extent you can, you're relaxing your body, letting go of any tension that is not necessary for maintaining your meditation posture. So, gradually your seated posture for meditation will become, if it hasn't already, will become a joy to you and something you look forward to. When you sit, you go, oh, I'm back here. Oh, thank God. Feels good. It feels serene. It feels relaxed. It feels peaceful. Stepping out of the franticness of the world and into a quiet, connected, joyful place. So, of course, after we situate the body in a comfortable place, we begin to turn our attention to the breath. The breath, which is so vitally important. The way we breathe can help us calm our anxieties, ground ourselves. We are hardwired, so certain kinds of breathing activate the sympathetic nervous system and make us feel stressed and anxious. We want to bring into activity the parasympathetic nervous system, which has to do with relaxation and quiet and rest and still alertness. So what makes the sympathetic nervous system active? Chest breathing, meaning not just that your chest expands, but the breath is confined to up in your chest. And irregular breathing, these things bring us into a state of stress, fear, fight, flight, fright, those things. So letting your breath be with your full chest, full body, full torso, allowing your breath to flow fully and activate your whole being, and at the same time be relaxed and tranquil. It wants to do that. If you just remove the interferences, like remove the muscle tension, remove all the anxious thoughts, and your breath settles into this much more pleasant rhythm and flow. Wonderful. Riding on the breath. Allow the breath. If you're wondering, well, how do I do this? What am I supposed to do? No, just allow the breath. Get out of the way. It'll do it. Okay. So we have a dual challenge. One is to be anchored, rooted, connected to the earth. sturdy. And the other is to be attuned to our higher spiritual selves. So some of you have been on this meditation when we've used the up and down breath and so on, and we're going to do a little bit of that tonight, for sure. So turning your attention to the breath, follow the breath from, from the lower tip of the spine upward as you inhale. Just letting your attention follow up the spine as you inhale. Timing the sweep of your attention so that you reach the crown of the head at the moment that you complete your inhalation. And then on exhalation, follow back down the spine to the lower tip, to the coccyx, the tailbone, to the lower tip of the spine. On exhalation, again, timing your sweep of attention upward with inhalation, and again down, so you reach the lower tip of the spine when you complete exhalation. So you're exhaling down. And it helps if you couple with that sweep of attention the sound that you imagine in your inner space of hum. It's a phoneme that has to do with the earth. Hum. Hence our words, human, being embodied on the earth. Humus, so forth. Hum. And then on inhalation, imagine the sound. So moving upward, soaring upward, upward to the crown of the head. If you want to work with this mantra, called the universal mantra, you can spend about 5 minutes of your meditation just doing this. Inhaling up, with the sound so, and exhaling down, with the sound hum. Just allow yourself to enjoy that process. It's like attuning an instrument being your body and your mind. So up and hum down. Good. If your mind wanders, guess what? You bring it back to the spine, bring it back to the flow of breath, flow of energy really up the spine, and the flow back down. It's a fundamental skill in meditative work, developing the capacity for one-pointed attention. and no doubt, your mind will wander, because that's the way we're accustomed to living and moving in the world. And that's okay. It's very okay for it to wander. Just bring it back. Because you're training your mind like we train a dog. You know, training the mind to stay where you put it. And that capacity for focus and one-pointed attention is really fundamental to all spiritual practice. Indispensable, really, for all spiritual practice. Otherwise, our habitual random thoughts and visualizations and distract us from discovering the truths that we will encounter inside. Probably the biggest obstacle to meditation is, can I focus? And the answer is usually, well, not so well, but with practice, yes, I can focus. Bring my attention to that one pointed pathway up the spine as I inhale, and down the spine as I exhale. So this is both a grounding and a practice to increase your capacity for focus. Imagine that you're standing where there's gold buried. You found the place, the X on the map, and you're going to dig it up. Except you keep remembering that, oh, I forgot to put this in my backpack. Oh, I should go check on that. Oh, I wonder what's happening back. Maybe I'll take out my cell phone and call them. And you forget to dig up the gold. Well, the gold is what we find when we meditate, but we have to be able to stay focused, or we forget that's why we were sitting. Our mind roams and rambles, and the time's up, and we think, well, I do feel a little calmer, and that's good, but there's so much more. So now I'm going to ask you, as you exhale, to not just exhale down to the tip of the spine, but to exhale right on through the tip of the spine, down through your meditation seat, down through whatever's between you and the earth, and on into the earth. You don't have to do all that at once, but start exhaling a little further down from the tailbone and a little further each time. The hum goes right on down. Extending into the earth. Tapping into the energy of the earth. The nurturance from the earth. And then I'm going to ask you, after you've done that for a while, I'll give you a few more minutes, Exhaling down through the tip of the spine into the earth, feeling that anchoring, like you dropped an anchor down into Gaia. And that's not just an anchor, it's a lifeline, because it is the earth that nurtures us. Mama Gaia, Panchamama. Okay. See how that feels. Like it? It's yours for free. And now we're going to add to that. As we inhale, we're going to inhale up the spine and not just stopping at the top of the head, but going a bit further with the sound so. Inhaling so up, crown of the head and a little bit beyond, as far as feels comfortable for you, this point, this day. Reaching up toward unitary consciousness, up toward oneness, up toward the source of our being. Inhaling up with so and exhaling down with mom. Just notice how that feels. I'm fully connected above. I'm fully rooted in this life. From this place, I can participate in what is happening on the earth, outside, in the world, but I do not have to be disturbed by what is happening out in the world, because I am steady, and I'm rooted, and I'm connected to Source. So I can be understanding, compassionate. I can see the truth, but it doesn't disturb me. It strengthens me. I don't need to deny the things that seem unpleasant. I don't need to pretend that they're not there. I don't need to be in denial. I can accept whatever I see and remain calm, serene, and joyous. And from that serenity and from that calmness and from that joy, I can offer so much to all those around me. So stay with that for a few minutes. Stay with the soul, stay with the hum, stay with the anchoring below, stay with the connection above. Notice what it feels like to be in this connected state. I am a conduit for whatever needs to come through me from a higher consciousness. I am held below in the lap of my mother. It's a pretty good place to be. If you maintain this for a little bit, you may notice some heat generated in your body. That's the energy that comes to you. If your mind wanders, bring it back. If your mind doesn't wander, you feel the heat. That's tapas. It's called tapas. And now we're going to slowly go back the way we came. So keeping your eyes closed, inhaling up only to the crown of your head. may take a few breaths to get it back to that point where you're only breathing up to the crown of your head. And then, once you've done that, only exhaling down to the end of my tailbone. Again, it may take a little while to bring that back up to that point. So it only goes as far down as your end of your spine. Now we're inhaling up to the crown of the head, exhaling back down to the lower tip of the spine, as we have done before. And you may still be with So Hum, if you wish. It's very helpful. Now, on the next exhalation, exhale down only as far as the solar plexus. It's the third chakra, navel center, so to speak. Inhaling up to the crown of the head, exhaling down to the solar plexus. Now, the next exhalation, exhaling down only as far as the heart center. Inhaling up to the crown of the head, exhaling down to the heart center. Now beginning to allow your attention to rest fully on the heart center, and we can let go of the So Hum if you haven't already. And now we're going to imagine the sound Yum. Seed sound for the heart center. Yum, 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 yum. So just imagine that sound as you let your attention rest on the heart center, point between the breast, near the spine and the back. Notice how it feels different to be here. Now we're going to begin to move back into awareness of the outside world by letting our attention extend, not leave the heart, but extend from the heart center out to the hands. Be aware of your hands, up to your head, down to your feet. Keeping anchored at the heart center. But extending your awareness out to your hands, up to your head, down to your feet. You can slightly move your fingers, toes, head. Bringing awareness back to the surface of your body, to include the surface of your body, not to leave the heart center. Well, hang on to that. Mm-hmm. And when you feel you're ready, you can lift your hands to cover your eyes, palms over the eye. Rest there for a moment. And then when you're ready, you can open your eyes, looking at your palms, letting your gaze stay fixed on your palms as they float down to your lap. Whenever you're ready, take your time. You can look around, move your arms and legs. And unfolding your legs is a good thing. And giving yourself a little massage to your feet and legs if they need that. Ah. So always take your time coming back. Always take your time going interior. Always take your time coming back. If you do it suddenly, your body and your mind won't trust you. They'll always be like, oh, is he going to jump up any minute? Is she going to suddenly squirrel around? And it's hard to go deep. So it's very important to have that slow, gentle entry into the meditative state. And then that slow, gentle exit in the meditative state. And also, if you can do it, to hang on to some of that inner awareness, especially in the heart center, which will go a long way to take you through the day. If you do this in the morning, or through the night, do it in the evening. So if anyone has any questions about meditation, or any comments they'd like to share, anything at all you would like to say or express or inquire about, this is the time.
Hey, Rudyji, Roger here. This was really a timely and really amazing meditation for me.
Yes.
Yeah. What was fascinating is I've been having a hard time with empathy of late, really feeling all that's going around the planet right now, all the angst and so on. So to be able to go down, all the way down into Gaia, where I really felt the embrace of safety and love, and coming back up and going to the expansion of spirit of the unitary consciousness was really very soothing and very warming. And at one point I got to my heart and I'm going, hey, well, what about me? I'm feeling all these emotions. And as I'm going up and down, it's reminding my heart of the love and safety and the expansion of unitary consciousness and the wisdom that is there. And my heart quieted down. So beautiful. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
But this is our birthright, to be aware of this inner world and the inner connections, because it's totally a game changer. If the world is driving me crazy, I can be steady and sturdy here. And then from that point, I can be very resilient. I can deal with whatever changes come. I can be free of all kinds of superficial worries. And I can then be of service to others in a way that I couldn't be if I'm kind of hanging on by my, fingernails. So thank you, Roger. That's well said, and that's I'm so happy to hear you say that. And I'm happy for everyone who takes the time to go within and discover your inner resources, because they're great. There are many. Somebody else have something they want to say or ask or share? Yes? Someone on the phone that has a question?
Karen.
This is Karen from San Francisco.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you so much. A couple of things. One, that I noticed going up into the cosmos of time stopping or eternal time, which gave me such a different perspective on what's happening on the earth right now, just like everything is okay. And then being grounded in the earth, where I can be present to everything that is happening, and that my center, I always thought my center was like up above my head, like out there somewhere, but my center like is right here smack in the middle. And so having that flow and realizing I can come to the world from my heart center and be supported by the earth, and yet still know that everything is as it should be. So that was beautiful.
Yeah.
I do have a question for you.
Yes.
So posture. And I'd love to sit on my cushion with my legs crossed, and I can handle that for about 10 minutes. And my legs fall asleep or they hurt. And early on in learning meditation, it was like, once you get in your space, don't move. And so I'm trying to practice longer, and I allow myself to like switch my leg a little or something. But I wonder if you could speak to that sort of rule that I heard of like, once you're in your space, don't move.
Yeah, well, that's a good policy, because if you disrupt that consciousness and come back to the world of concerns, then it takes time to go back and get there. So it's nice if you can not break it. But if your leg is yelling at you, I mean, it's a compassionate thing to do, to say, okay, let me adjust you so you're comfortable. Because you really do want your meditation seat to be comfortable. If it's stiffness in your legs, yoga will often help. Doing yoga classes will help bring more flexibility to your legs. But you can also sit in a chair, or you can try certainly using a cushion to lift your pelvis off the floor so your knees are down. It makes it a lot easier on your legs. But it's important to be comfortable, not just because you want to take a nap, but because you want to not be distracted.
Right.
So find the position, and then it will change. This is a dynamic thing. It keeps changing the more we practice. Yeah. And thank you for your description of your experience, because I think that you're right. When you go to a place, even briefly, where time is different, you realize, oh, this world is just one way of doing it. You don't have to get so caught up in it. It's just very liberating. Yeah. Thank you. Anybody else?
Hi, Swami Ravi. This is Jody.
Yes, Jody.
I'm curious In terms of, you said that one pointed focus is very important for exploring spirituality. And I'm curious how much, when one is meditating, because there are moments when I find this space of just kind of like being in a void, and then like I'm not so much necessarily like focusing on whatever I started my meditation with, but rather just like allowing myself to kind of swim in the expansiveness, which feels delicious. And I feel like that there's a place for that, and it feels really important to have that as well. So maybe you can say something about having both like this permission to just kind of feel this deliciousness of being in this space of void or expansiveness, while also cultivating this one pointed focus.
Well, yeah, because certainly you have a choice, but then you know it's the inner exploration. It's your playground. Can everybody hear me? We're having a rainstorm, so there's a lot of noise coming.
Yeah, you're a little hard to hear, Rudyji.
Yes, I'll get closer to the microphone because there's the rain's pouring down outside. Certainly you have that freedom to explore, and you should use it. And it's great for it to be wonderful and fun. However, it's the capacity for one point of attention that allows you to be in that space, but not swept away by that experience. That's why some people can go into that world and feel terrified, because they don't have the capacity to say, okay, that's enough, I'm gonna bring my attention back over here. So the one-pointed attention is very important to develop, and it's better, your floating around in space is gonna be a lot more enjoyable if you have that one-pointed attention in your repertoire, because then you won't feel afraid. And so I'm saying that not just to you, but for everybody. That is it's almost like a prerequisite for really having a free and wonderful experience internally, is to have the one point of attention. Both helps you get there, and then it can bring you back at any moment you want to. That helps.
Thank you. Yeah, that reminds me, I think in your book, Valley Rising, you said something like children, when they're in a playpen, they can be more creative because they know that they have like some sort of containment.
Right. Exactly. Yes. Very good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi, Swami Ravi. It's Carlos in Boston.
Yes. Hi, Carlos.
Yeah, I just wanted to say I had a great experience and kind of felt exploring more like down in the root, and kind of had a feeling of kind of having a larger basement than usual, kind of having more space and energy down there than
Great.
when I've done this other times. And so that was I felt very grounding.
Excellent. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Anybody else?
Swami Ravi, this is Cece. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Good. Thank you for this experience. I wanted to just say thank you to Linda and to you and Gerald for doing this on such a consistent basis for us. It's really become such a nurturing part of my weekend. And it has inspired me to do more of my own meditation practice on a more regular basis.
Good.
I'm finding right now it's easier in the mornings because nobody's up, and I live in New York City in a very loud, sort of vibrant, I should say loud, but vibrant neighborhood. And I also have it. I feel like I have a need to do it in the evenings, but there's so much distraction from what's going on out there that then I find myself getting like all tense and aggravated and like can't seem to make these people just shut up. And that's probably not the right way to enter into meditation.
Right. So yes, you are in a place where generally it's pretty quiet at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock in the morning because people aren't up yet. And that's when you have the best time for meditation. Daylight and dusk are really considered the best times when the sun is, sort of half day and half night. Those are good times for meditation. Maybe you can try earplugs, or there's the noise canceling earphones that shut out the noise. That can be helpful in a place like that.
Thank you. I sort of like wanted permission to be able to use these because I felt like that was too, I don't know, out of the way or too electronic to be conducive, but it is sort of what I need. So thank you.
Good. Well, you say anything? Here.
Hello. So next week, join us. We'll be doing another discussion, interview, what have you, with our dear friend Roger, who's on the call. Roger, do you want to? Yeah, there he is with 2 thumbs up. He's going to be speaking with Swami Ravi. And the topic is sexuality and spirituality, in the role of sexuality and spirituality in Tantra. And how that's, do you want to say any more to that, Roger, at all? Oh, okay. So the format will be much like it was last weekend, if you were on the call last weekend about community. It's just a chance for Roger and Rudyji Swami Ravi to have a discussion about that topic. And really it's rather impromptu because it's whatever comes up in the discussion. There's no format or there's no set of guidelines or questions or anything like that. It's really kind of an informal discussion. It's interesting what enters into the space. So, and then at the end, we'll have a chance for folks like yourselves to bring in your questions or your comments or your observations and participate in the discussion. So join us next week, same time, 7 p.m. Thank you. It's good to see your faces. And stay well this week. And thank you, Linda, for hosting this call tonight. Thank you, Rudyji, for a wonderful meditation. And stay in your heart and use your heart this week.
And if everybody could unmute, then we can all say goodbye.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Thank you. Good night.
Bye.
Thank you.
Good to see you again. Good to see you all. Yes. Thank you.